stand where it's convenient for you. Okay?
Sorry, Doctor.
I'll come and stand where you'd like me to
All
stand.
right. It's very good of you. I do apologize.
Is it possible for you to, oops,
Rather than
I've
standing
been
there,
in-
would it be possible for you to sort of come and get something out of your car
No.
and then go back in?
I've been advised to stand and let you take a photograph and then go away. And I'm sure you've had enough time to take a decent
Have
photograph.
you been? Is it possible for you just to
Thank
say
you.
anything
I'm
at
going
all?
back into surgery to do my surgery.
But you have said you have
Thank
nothing to hide, sir.
Hello YouTube. Welcome back to yet another video. And we have Sharon for today. Sharon
It's
the Cory.
Sharon for today. Sharon, as always, no one else.
I mean, if you guys do want us to join us on podcast shows like this, do let us know. We love guests on
Yeah.
the show. If you have any interesting story of your own, may it be paranormal, may it be crime related, true crime related, whatever, do let us know.
Anything, yeah.
Yep. We love having people.
You can just
DM us on
You
our
can-
Insta. DM us on our Insta.
yeah, you can
and
DM us on
DMs.
Insta and and you can use the comment box
Yep, use
to
the
let us
comment
know that you
box.
would like to join us.
Yep. Go and follow the Instagram page, guys. Your support means a lot. Also, do subscribe if you're new around here. Like the podcast. Then go ahead. Just go now. Do it. I don't care. Just do it right now. Just like it. And subscribe if you're new around here. And go ahead and comment. With that being said, what do we have today, Sharon?
Today we've brought back our crime podcasts, which weren't being shown in quite a while, I guess. The last one was Cyanide Mohan, if I'm not wrong.
And the quality was a little too shit. So that
But
is
anyways.
exactly why I kept the crime podcasts on hold, Sharon. That is exactly why.
Yep.
Oh, by the way, I had this on my mind since quite a long time. You guys have been complaining about the intros being too long. Guys, you're on a podcast show. This is how podcasts are. You cannot complain about the podcasts being too long. So just shut the fuck
yes,
up
you cannot.
and watch it. You guys are on podcast.
I mean, yeah, seriously though.
Yep, seriously. This is a talk show. We need to discuss. We need to talk. You guys want to talk? Go down in the comments. Let's talk. Or if you guys even want, we can make live podcast shows sometime on Twitch.
Maybe we
Yep.
can give that a we can give that a
yes,
thought.
we can give that a thought. So yep.
We can try that.
If the videos are too long, do not complain about it. This is a podcast. You signed up for it.
It's a podcast.
Because
yes.
this time I am truly irritated for all the long duration comments. So please.
See guys, if it's a podcast and it's meant to be on a podcast platform such as Spotify, you are free to go listen to podcasts on Spotify, but we are trying to do something different here. We're trying to bring it on YouTube as well.
Yep.
So we'd appreciate it if you just stick around and support that.
Not gonna deny there are many podcast channels
They
out
do.
there. There are many
They do.
podcast channels out there who do great content, amazing podcast content, but we are also trying to do something like that, but a little different by our own touch, having our own
Yep.
touch into it. So please do not be annoying telling the videos are too long. That is how it is going to be. I had this in my mind since quite a long time. I always used to forget to mention this to you guys, but yeah, finally it came into my head and I have cleared it off. So yeah. And we are nearing 1k. We are just 150 short. Go ahead, support us.
Okay.
Drop that subscription. People, whoever love this channel, whoever come back to our videos daily, go ahead, drop a like. Massive love to you guys. New people, if you like the content, make sure to hit that subscription button. It's totally free. The support is well appreciated. We do love you all. So yeah, please do show us your love and support as well. And haters are gonna be haters, so we cannot really help it. If you have problem with the
We
long
cannot really
duration,
help that, yeah.
if you really have a problem with the long duration, please click away. Also, disclaimer must have rolled before the video started, so you do know what to do if you are sensitive to content like this. So you have a choice to click away. All right, so today's topic was Harold Frederick Shipman.
Yes,
This
I think it's our
dude.
first foreign killer in a long time.
Oh yes, not in a. Oh yeah, we started off.
In a long time.
Yeah, we started off
Yes.
with foreign killers, and then we got suggestions telling we should do Indian ones. We did Indians for quite a long time, and then now we're coming back to the old
We
pace.
did Indians for quite a long time.
So now here we are back with a foreign case, and this comes to us from UK, isn't it?
It does. It does. Yeah, it is from the UK, and it's a very unique
Pretty
concept.
unique
You will
one.
find out.
Yep, you will find
You
out.
will find out.
It's from Yorkshire, if I'm not wrong, or close by to Yorkshire.
Yorkshire, I guess.
Yep.
Maybe.
All right, let's listen to it. Oh, by the way, the voiceover is done by our beloved brother Diablo.
Shout out to him.
Yes, shout out to him.
Harold Shipman, or as he was called, Dr. Death. Doctors are considered second to God. This is something we have always known and grown up to believe. They are considered to be the most trusted people, even more than anyone we know personally. But what if this very trusted profession turns into everyone's worst nightmare? That is exactly what happened between the years 1974 to 75, when several elderly women were found dead in similar yet unusual positions in the comfort of their own homes. And the person responsible for all the deaths was none other than the town's most loved doctor, General Practitioner Harold Frederick Shipman, aka Dr. Death. Shipman is believed to have killed at least 250 of his patients, although the numbers vary with each source.
Well, that is why we are telling this case is different. Exactly why we are telling this case is different.
Exactly.
Because all the previous cases, like Sharon said, the previous time we were recording.
Which no one will get to hear anyway.
Anyways, all the serial
What I
killers.
said.
Yeah, go ahead. Tell. Go ahead.
What I said was all our previous podcasts were focused on random people who didn't have a career, who basically were no one. This guy belongs to a profession which is worshipped,
Yep,
which is
totally.
considered second to God. So that is unique about this case.
I mean, to be a
That is-
doctor, you just can't be a literally no one, because you need to have a lot of financial backing. You need to have a lot of educational qualifications. So you can't literally be a Tom, Dick, and Harry and be a doctor. You need to have that much mental presence and knowledge to be a doctor. And the third thing, you just can't be a doctor and a killer at the same time. But then this guy just did it.
This guy pulled it off.
Yep.
Don't know how, maybe we'll find out, but
Doctors are mentally wired to be lifesavers and not killers. But again, there are a few examples which we
Like
have
this.
we've known. Yep, like this, and there are others who harvest organs. Anyways, moving ahead.
His victims were mostly elderly women who, like I said, were found dead in unusual positions. Most of them were fully clothed. Most were found peacefully seated on a chair or a sofa, with none of them showing any visible signs of bad health that could have led to the death. It was almost as if they had passed away in the middle of their daily routine. So, how then did the beloved doctor carry out his killing? How did he turn a life-saving profession into a life-taking one?
Let's find out.
In order to find out,
Let's find
let's dig a little deeper into what kind of a person Shipman was. In the town of Hyde in Greater Manchester, Harold Shipman was no ordinary citizen. He was popular, very popular. In a town of about 30,000 people, Shipman had around 3,000 clients, all of whom worshipped him. He was lovingly known as Fred or Freddy. With time, Shipman became a face that people recognized a lot. He was the kind of person that you could have a nice little conversation with on the street. He was said to be the most popular doctor at the medical center, and all of his patients adored him. But the problem was, his patients seemed to die frequently, perhaps even before the time was up.
It's always like this, isn't it? It's always the
It's
person
always like this, yeah.
who you trust the most is the one who's going to stab you in the back, especially when it comes to the serial killing side of it. Literally stab you in the back. My god. You just tend to drop your guard in front of people who you have trust on, isn't it?
I know, and come on, let's be real. This is not some kind of a family member whom you can cut off. This is a doctor
Doctor, you
to
need to
whom you have to go.
Yep, you have to. There's no other option. And
Yep.
just hope none of you guys out there ever come across a doctor like this. For real.
Yeah.
Like, please stay vigilant, guys and girls. Please do take care of yourself and
Yeah.
please defend yourself.
Hiding behind the face of a caring family doctor, Shipman committed all his crimes. He would visit the homes of his patients, who were mostly lonely and vulnerable older women, and when he left their homes, these patients were perhaps no longer breathing. It is hard to understand why he did what he did. Till this day, the lack of motive is what confuses most people. There were no sexual desires, no scores to settle, and no violence detected that could have possibly been the reason behind Shipman's senseless killings. Which brings us back to our first question. Why? Why did he do this? When it comes to a serial killer, or any sort of criminal for that matter, we already know that part of the reason they turn to committing such heinous crimes is because of childhood trauma. With that in mind, let's go back further to January 14th, 1946, the year Shipman was born.
But Diablo,
Harold Frederick Shipman,
it's not always childhood trauma, is it?
No, not really. I have seen many cases wherein it's been just the sick fetish of their mind. They just want to do it. They just want to
Exactly.
stay on top of the
Food chain?
food chain. No, I'm pretty sure they're not eating it.
I
Although
mean,
there are a
not
few.
in the literal sense.
There are a
but
few who do,
there are.
but
There are. Not in a literal sense. I mean, like they just want to stay on top,
yep,
the
they're just
king of the hill.
the
maybe.
dominant type.
of childhood trauma. With that in mind, let's go back further to January 14th, 1946, the year Shipman was born. Harold Frederick Shipman, known as Fred to his family and friends, was born in Nottingham, England. He was the second of 4 children. His father, Harold Shipman, was a lorry driver and he was the favorite child of his mother, Vera. His parents were devout Protestants.
Vera is his mom's name, is it?
Yeah, I guess.
Okay. Because that Vera came separate, so I thought maybe it's something else.
It is mother.
Vera,
Vera.
I
Yeah,
get it.
that's- Yeah.
Well, the thing which you just said, childhood trauma causing a person turning into a serial killer, I was just thinking of it, but then I did also realize that most of the cases come from childhood trauma itself.
They do. They
Like,
do actually
I
come from
guess if I'm
childhood
not wrong,
trauma.
80%, not absolute concrete numbers, but I guess 80% of all the cases that I have come across so far come due to childhood trauma. And the rest of it,
Yeah.
just the sickness of the mind.
But do you remember our last crime podcast, which was on Cyanide Mohan? He didn't have any kind of childhood trauma.
Correct. He was also well educated.
Yes.
He was also well educated. He was also well to do.
Exactly.
Not like a doctor, but yeah, he was a teacher.
He had brains. He did.
He did have brains. My god, are we going into a new direction? Is this the start of a new era?
It could be. And if you haven't checked that video out, it'll probably pop up in the I button above. So just go check
Maybe
that out.
now or just go at the end of this. You've come so far, just watch the
Oh,
rest
yeah.
of it.
Shipman was a bright student during his academic years, and his mother was mostly the reason for this. She made sure that he
Okay.
got into grammar school. For those of you who don't know, grammar school is a type of school in the UK, and most English speaking countries. It is said that his mother was overbearing and domineering. She always pushed him too hard to excel in academics, and because of this, Shipman ended up spending his teenage years isolated with hardly a handful of kids to call his friends.
Makes sense.
Indian viewers can
because
relate.
Indian viewers can relate. Most of the nerds are always alone.
Sharon, you
I
can
mean, not
relate.
like. I'm not. I mean, I ended up finding friends, but yeah.
And
But like,
domineering mother. Moving on.
I'm I'm not becoming Harold Shipman, guys. Don't worry.
I shall be vigilant.
He tried his hardest to please his mother in everything he did, and she was very proud of her son. Vera established a strong sense of superiority in her son, which became a lifelong problem for Shipman, as he could never get his mother out of his head, even after her death on 21st June 1963. Yes, that's correct. Shipman lost
Oh,
his
damn.
mother only when he was 17 years old.
That was.
His mother
That's
had
tragic.
been suffering from terminal lung cancer, and Shipman had watched her fight it. He also watched how the local doctor would come in and relieve her pain by giving her morphine, another pain relieving drug. It is said that Shipman never spoke to anyone about his mother's fight with cancer, nor did he tell anyone when she passed away. When someone asked him about it, he spoke of it matter of factly. Perhaps the death of his mother was somewhere the reason for him to change into something much more sinister. But yet again, it is only believed so. 3 years after his mother's death, Shipman met a woman named Primrose Octopi.
What was the name?
Primrose.
I didn't quite get it.
Primrose. Primrose is what I gather.
My god, that's a complicated and a unique name.
Primrose or Primrose? I'm guessing it's Primrose. I'm not sure.
A rare person indeed.
She got pregnant with their first child, after which
Oh,
they
wow.
both tied the knot in the same year.
Weird for us, but normal for them, I guess.
Pretty normal.
Yep.
Very
They went
normal.
on to have 3 more kids after that. Shipman received a scholarship to study medicine at Leeds University in North England and went on to take up internships in hospitals. In 1970, he graduated from Leeds and worked as a junior doctor at Pontefract General Infirmary.
What? What again? I'm not getting all these names.
I'm guessing it's just the name of the place where he worked as a doctor. You don't have to get it.
Why are these names like these? My god. UK, you need help.
It's the UK. It's the UK.
Call it Raghu Prasad Hospital or something.
Oh my god.
In 1974, Shipman got a job as a general practitioner. The clinic where he worked was located in a small town called Todmorden in West Yorkshire.
Yet again.
During his time as a GP,
I pity brother Diablo right now. All these
I know.
pronunciations, he
I
must have hit
know.
his head. I can see he's hitting his head over there. Oh,
He
my
was
God.
saying like, what the fuck, bro?
Why am I stuck here?
Yeah, why am I doing this? Why? Why am I here?
Shipman developed an addiction to pethidine, which is an opioid pain relief medicine. In 1975, he was caught forging prescriptions of pethidine for his own use and was fined £600.
And this
He
was
then
all
attended
after
a
being a
drug
doctor.
rehabilitation clinic for a
Wait
bit,
up.
after which
What?
And this was all after being a doctor?
I mean, you get access.
Developing an addiction.
You get access to all these chemicals only if you're a doctor.
Makes sense.
So
but
if you're not a doctor, let me tell you clearly, you do not have access to quite a lot of important things too.
Well, given the year we are talking about and the case that we saw,
back then these things in foreign countries were strict at least. India is a different case.
oh, okay.
Yeah, India is a different case. And
Okay.
again, the previous case, Cyanide Mohan, he used to get cyanide from jewelers. He used to smuggle it from them. So until and unless in like foreign countries, until and unless you're not a doctor, you do not have access to all these things. It's as simple as that.
He was back in business. After a brief period as a medical officer and temporary work for the National Coal Board, he became a GP at the Donnybrook Medical Centre in Hyde, Greater Manchester, in 1977.
These names can
He
never
continued
be simple.
working as a GP in Hyde throughout the 1980s.
GP means General Practitioner. It stands for that. So just know that. And if you guys are confused with opioid, for few it might be opioid, for few it is opoid. So
Opioid, yes.
yes.
Now, it is uncertain as to when he started killing exactly, given the number of his victims is believed to have crossed over 250. But it is said that he first started killing in Todmorden.
250 people.
Okay.
Do you get the gravity of the situation?
250.
This is literally the
250
highest
as
number
in-
I've heard so far in any of the cases.
So far.
Yep.
I mean, 250, while saying it, might not sound like a huge number, but just imagine if 250 people were in your house.
As a matter of fact, while me, Sharon, and the team were sitting together and discussing on which case to pick, this time we were fixated on picking the highest death count or the death toll. And if you remember, I told 250. That's the number we should be going for right now.
Yep.
Because that is genuinely too huge of a number
That is high.
when it comes to killing. As a serial killer, I guess this guy takes the crown as of now for being the...
As of now, but I think there is someone else. I'm not sure, but maybe there should be someone else who has.
If there is someone
Or is
else,
there
we
not?
will find out. We will do yet another podcast on that again.
Yep.
In fact, he got away with killing for so many years. It was not until 1998 when Dr. Linda Reynolds, another GP in Hyde, noticed that Shipman's death rates were 10 times higher than any other doctor.
Oh,
She was
finally
particularly
someone
concerned
noticed.
about the number of elderly women passing away.
I mean, no doctor has 250 dead patients. If a doctor has
No,
250
well-
dead patients, the doctor loses his license, telling the doctor is not fit for service.
Exactly.
All the studies is gone down the drain. Nothing has gone into the head.
True. That is true.
My God. And this guy still continued being a doctor even after having that high number of dead patients on his hands.
She suspected that either Shipman was being negligent or just killing his patients. The matter was put forth to the police, who were unable to do anything as there was not much evidence at the time and the investigation was abandoned. Then came Kathleen Grundy, an 81-year-old woman who was the final victim of Shipman.
It's easy to get old people off guard, isn't it? They just get too trusting by the end of the lifespan.
It is. I mean, for a reason, they say that elderly people in general start behaving like kids once they grow old. And kids are easy victims, so are older people.
Well, it is what it is. You can't really help it. It's just...
That's why take care of your parents, guys.
Yep, come on.
Don't leave them alone.
They're
very vulnerable.
They have got you up to that stage wherein
Right.
you have stood on your own two legs and you have seen the world, all thanks to them. So I don't see the point in you not doing stuff for them anymore. So please do respect your parents, give them love,
For
support.
whatever reason,
Yep.
yeah. I mean, for whatever reason, it might be that you have left them alone because specifically this guy targeted lonely people. Don't. I'd rather suggest just
Have them
anybody,
with you.
somebody, stay with them.
If not you, if your situation forces you to stay away from your parents, at least have some relatives or drop your parents at your relatives who can take care of her. Or at least stay together, all together.
Her death came as a major breakthrough in the case. Kathleen Grundy was the former ceremonial mayor of Hyde. She was found dead in a room on 24 June 1998 in the same exact position that many other elderly women had been found. Shipman was the last person to see her alive and had signed her death certificate recording old age as the cause of her death. But Kathleen's daughter was not buying any of that. She came to know that her mother had written a will which excluded her and her children but left £386,000 for Dr.
wow.
Shipman. That was
wow.
obviously concerning to Kathleen's daughter, and so she promptly reported it to the police.
So that was done in the motive of money, I'm guessing.
Could have been. I mean, bro, you studied so much you couldn't even use your brains as to how to make a will properly. Which mother leaves all their property to a random stranger instead of their children?
But again,
I mean, there could be. Again,
yeah,
there
if
could
the
be,
children
but-
are useless, there's no point in giving it to them.
but yes,
I've seen examples of that, so yeah.
I get it.
Yep. But anyways, if that's the case, I think this kill was in the motive of getting money. Is there any other case? No, I don't think. So far, he hasn't mentioned anybody else in his victim list.
Probably this was the only one so far which had
Money
money
related.
motive.
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably.
Which in turn prompted another investigation. Kathleen's body was exhumed and an examination was conducted. The discovery that was made after the examination was shocking. Kathleen's body contained high traces of diamorphine. Shipman was arrested immediately, and upon interrogation, the police made a list of 15 of his patients. All their bodies were exhumed, and all of them had traces of diamorphine. There was no hiding anymore.
His way of killing was pretty clean, not gonna lie.
It was. And his profession itself saved him, I would say.
Yep. No,
Yep.
I think there was no saving to him. He anyways got arrested. So yeah.
I mean, for so many years, for him to
Yeah.
reach 250.
Yep. That, yeah, I agree, but
Yes.
none of his actions were left
Well,
unseen. He got his
Karma
punishment.
is. Yeah, karma is a bitch,
Yep.
they say.
See, when it comes to defending yourself against danger or like killing someone because you were in danger, or like just let's say like someone comes to you, attacks you, and in the action you end up killing the other dude to protect your life, that is justified
That is justified.
because you were
Correct.
saving your own life, and in the process the other person got killed. Because I do remember a case which is from my native. I think I've told you about this long back. Like, it is near my granny's place, and there was this guy. I don't want to take his name. Let's call him Mr. X.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, Mr. X was from Bhubaneswar, and apparently what had happened was Mr. X had a sister, Miss Y, and
Okay.
back then when the case had happened, she was in college, I guess. She was pursuing whatever she was doing. I have no idea what she was doing, but apparently she was mistreated and kind of molested by few strangers or college mates. I have no idea, but then it went to such an extent that they would follow her home and she would feel totally very helpless and very scared all the time.
Okay.
Even at the safety of her home, she would feel scared. Things got out of hand, like so bad. This dude, Mr. X, I think this was at the night time, and these three were near her house, and I guess they called her out or something from the street, and they were waiting for her at the street. Obviously, she isn't gonna go out because she's scared.
Yeah, makes sense.
Mr. X hears it. He climbs down. He goes down and has a small little talk, and then this talk turns into an argument. From an argument, it slowly goes into a fight, and Mr. X ends up chopping their heads off. All the three, right there, dead.
Whoa.
Well, he was defending
As
himself.
in self-defense?
Self-defense,
Yes, makes
because
sense.
the
Yep.
thing got heated up at one point wherein he would face danger too. So he just,
True.
it was fight or flight. So he chose fight.
True.
Because if he would have run away at that point of time from there, maybe his sister would be no more.
His sister would have been caught up in the whole thing.
Yeah, or maybe she would be no more. But he saved his family's life and his own life by putting down threat. So that's what I'm trying to tell. You need to defend yourself, and in case if it goes to things like that, you shouldn't be really scared about stuff like that. Because your life is precious to you, and if it is being harmed by someone, you need to stand up for yourself.
Yep.
He was arrested indeed. He was arrested. He did surrender himself later on. He did get
Oh, he surrendered himself.
yeah, he surrendered himself.
Okay.
He did get arrested. He was in jail for around 3 years. His sentence was much longer, but then again,
okay.
parole and all that, and he was released on the charge of self-defense. So, yep.
Don't do
Interesting
it.
stories.
It is. I mean, I don't think you've told this to me before.
I haven't.
This is the first time I'm hearing it. Or maybe I've forgotten. Doesn't really matter. But what was I coming to? Yeah, don't think we are promoting it.
We are not promoting
No, no, no.
violence.
We
We
are
are
not
asking you to
promoting
defend
violence.
yourself.
Exactly.
And defending yourself always doesn't mean you have to kill the other person.
Yep.
You have other ways around it. You can probably scream for help if there are people around.
You can.
That day, for him, it was midnight and there was literally no one walking outside. So he had to take specific actions.
Drastic actions.
Yeah.
Correct.
And you have many options. You can scream for help. You can run away. You can probably call the cops if that is even an option for you at that point of time.
If you have enough time, you can. If necessary, you can land a few
Blows.
hits, but
Yep.
yeah, you don't have to really resort to
Violence.
killing. Yeah, but you have ways around it.
Yeah.
Just that
ways
we're
around-
not promoting it. We're just telling you to be careful
Yep.
and defend yourself.
All right, moving ahead.
Shipman was responsible for the deaths of all these poor people. His modus operandi was inspired from his mother's treatment. Whether this was his coping mechanism or a sick fetish, we will never know. He would form a good bond with his patients and their families, which is probably why nobody even suspected in the first place.
True.
He would then give lethal doses of diamorphine to them and just walk away after they die. Then he would forge the medical records indicating that the patient had already been in poor health or had just died of old age. He told the families that he tried calling for an ambulance, but there was no proof of such a thing in his call records.
Well, the first step of killing someone goes to either brute force or win their trust. And this guy was doing the latter.
He was doing the latter, and he was doing something which is like a getaway or a Yeah, if one might have to call it getaway
Yep.
or an escape route. Yeah, that's the best thing you can do.
But how is it an escape route?
Escape route, because I guess maybe once you start trusting someone, you don't really doubt them. You can't really think that it
In
could have
that way.
been them.
No,
Yeah.
you can't call it an escape route. It just makes your things easy.
I mean, at the moment, maybe for the time being.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, maybe. Well, his escape
the
route
time being.
genuinely was him altering all the patient records. If you call it an escape
I mean,
route,
he had that
that's-
power in his
Yeah,
hand.
because he was a doctor.
True.
If you're not a
Yeah.
doctor, you can't really do it.
Yeah, exactly.
When cops investigated Shipman's house, they found a typewriter which was used to forge the will. With all this information collected as evidence, Shipman was charged with the deaths of 15 women, all of whom had died between 1995 to 98. Shipman's trial began in 1999 and lasted 6 months. The sense of superiority that his mother once instilled in him showed up in court as well, as Shipman denied all accusations against him, despite the fact that there was proof.
What?
I said, wow. I mean,
That you
Like,
had you
I don't
wi-
know.
you could you
I
do
don't know if his
you once you could do
Sharon is shocked.
I mean, one can
Despite the
try
multiple
to.
What?
Sorry. I said one can try to, deny the. What is that? Accusations, but come on, just face it once you've been caught and you have.
You
proof,
can't run
just
away
face
from it forever.
You
It'll
can't
get
run.
up to you.
Oh,
I mean,
shit.
it'll catch up to
Yeah.
you one day. What happened?
Yeah. I just pushed the chair.
Aha.
Must have come in the audio. I'm so sorry.
It's okay. Sharon keeps breaking stuff.
Advised by the defense to save Shipman, there was no way he was getting away with all the evidence right in front of them. In 2000, the jury found Shipman guilty of killing 15 patients by lethal injections of diamorphine and forging the will of Kathleen Grundy. The trial judge sentenced him to 15 consecutive life sentences and recommended that he never be released.
15 consecutive life sentences. Life sentence is for life. What's the point of giving 15? Is he gonna survive after one life? I never understand this logic.
Me neither, but like.
Are you
maybe
kidding
just
me?
to make-
Is he going to live one more life after that life? So you're telling if he's reborn again, he's supposed to be arrested again? So that this cycle
I
continues
have
on
no
for like 15
freaking idea.
times? Your punishments do
freaking-
not make sense. A serial killer, a person who has killed people, should be in death row, in terms of my opinion. I don't know about you guys.
They
My
should.
opinion, death
They
row
should.
is the answer. This 15 consecutive, 20 consecutive, 30 consecutive life sentences makes zero fucking sense.
I have nothing to say about that. We have seen enough of the judicial system botch ups. I
That was
really
only
have.
in India. This is foreign as well. What is going
No,
on?
so, yeah.
Shipman also received 4 years for forging the will. He was lodged in Wakefield Prison in West Yorkshire. What happened to him after that and where he is now, you may ask? Long story short, Harold Shipman, aka Dr. Death, committed suicide in his prison cell on January
Wow.
2004.
Easy way out. I see.
Easy way out, true that.
He opted the easy way out like a chicken. I want to eat chicken. Let's go ahead.
To some, this news was joyous, but to most of the victims' families, it was frustrating. The families were just left with one question, which is also our question of the podcast. Why? Why did Shipman kill his patients? Was it for financial gain? Or did he derive pleasure from the deaths? The answer to this question is complex. Psychologists say that Shipman was killed because of the power it gave him. The memory of his dying mother was never far away. He was a narcissist who believed that he knew what was best for his patients. He saw himself as a savior, someone who could relieve his patients' pain and suffering by ending their lives.
So, mercy killing. You don't do that without asking permission
No.
or without their family telling you to do that.
Yep. Euthanasia, that it's termed as euthanasia, if you guys didn't know that.
Euthanasia, yes.
Yep.
Yeah.
Doesn't make sense to me at times. But again, if the patient itself
Demands it.
demands
Yes.
it, it's a different case. Do not take
Well-
euthanasia requests from anybody else other than the patient, is my opinion, honestly.
True. Unless and until the patient themselves want to take an easy way out.
Yeah. That's a
Or the
different case.
family. No, actually the patient. Yeah.
Euthanasia is a good thing in my opinion, but only
It is a good thing.
if consented by the patient, by himself or herself. Now let's say if someone listens to this, they might go like, come on, all patients do not have the ability to give consent. There are patients in coma. What about them?
Right.
Now that's a tricky situation. I have no idea what to be done over there, but maybe if you see a person like having like zero chance of coming back, there are many patients like that, many celebrities as well, who are in coma and haven't come out of that stage yet, and they're getting old. Maybe it can be considered then, although I'm not telling that is the only way. Maybe there is still slightly a small little hope or a chance that the person might
There
recover.
could be. Miracles
yep.
do happen.
I think there is no point of euthanasia in coma because there is always a small little chance that the patient might recover.
Another thing, well, like you said, what if the patient cannot speak or is in a state of not being able to convey what they want? At that point, I think if the doctor themselves speak it out with the patient's family, and if it's a combined decision, if the doctor knows that there's no helping or saving this patient, maybe
Well,
then yeah.
Yeah, that's there, but maybe sometimes
As
the
long as
doctor
there
is
is
wrong too.
consent.
Well, if
Could be,
the consent
yes.
is coming from a doctor like this, that makes you question.
This doctor didn't ask for consent, so that is wrong. But if the doctor himself asks for consent, then probably
Now
it
let's
can
say if this doctor itself asked for consent, even after knowing the fact that the patients were totally healthy, fit,
work. Okay,
and
yeah, you have a
fine.
point there.
Yep.
You have a point there.
And then doctors have
a
access
tricky-
to many things, many chemicals. They can just inject you with any virus or any bacteria and be like, oh, she's getting sick, she will not recover anymore, we will have to put her down.
True.
This is a sensitive
It's a-
topic. My god, this is a sensitive topic. How
It's
much
a
are we left
tricky
with
topic.
Oh, we are almost done with the case.
Yeah, it's a sensitive
Someone-
topic. Yeah.
I thought we were going to continue.
I mean, let's continue.
Claims that he killed for the money, as was the case with Kathleen Grundy. In the end, our question still remains a mystery, but a Shipman's legacy is one of tragedy and horror. His victims were innocent people who trusted him to provide medical care, but he betrayed that trust in the most heinous way possible. His crimes serve as a reminder that evil can lurk in even the most unexpected places.
Yep, I will not deny that. I will not,
Not
deny
deny that. That is true.
that. Just
That
like
is
how
very
we were
true,
talking
especially-
about the sensitive topic right now.
Yep.
You don't have any solution in this, do you now? Absolutely.
Sorry to say, but
Yep.
yes, you don't.
If a doctor is like this, you cannot even trust a doctor anymore. You can't take their word for an answer.
You cannot, and it is very tricky, to be really honest. We don't really want to give a solution, nor can we, because there is no space for a solution here.
This is such a saddening situation.
It is.
When
It is.
people who you are meant to trust the most are the ones who are betraying the shit out of you, literally.
We both have been there, I guess.
Yep. No, our case is different. This comes
I
to
mean,
life and
different
death.
from this,
Yeah.
but under the same topic.
This comes to life and death. And
It does.
well, this was a heavy little case, and still no one knows what was his actual modus operandi.
Motive.
Yep.
No, modus operandi we do know, but his motive,
Oh
we
yeah,
don't know
shit.
why.
Sorry, my bad. Motive. What was his motive of killing?
What was his motive? Yeah. We're still left with that mystery.
Pretty heavy case. Pretty heavy case. Still leaves us hanging. We have no idea why. Ha.
But anyways, if you guys have any
Thoughts
suggestions for
or
us
suggestions.
or thoughts about this case or suggestions for any other case that you have faced
Uh,
personally or you have heard about,
let me interrupt you and tell. If you guys want, I'll give you two options. Select from one.
Okay.
I mean, select one of these. My English is RIP. Uh, select one of these. Dr. Death 2 or highest kill count. Which whenever you pick.
Oh yes, there's not just one Dr. Death, by the way.
Yeah. Dr. Death 2 or highest kill count. And we will make the next podcast according to that. You guys do know your polls do make a lot of difference on
They
our
do.
channel's content. So if you guys honestly give us a proper answer on the poll, tell it in the comment section or go ahead comment. We'll put up a poll on Instagram as well. Go ahead. Take your part in that poll and give us one solid answer. We will get you guys that case. We will do our side of work, and your side of bargain is to watch it, like it, share it, comment on it, and subscribe if you're new. You need to do
If you're
that.
new.
Because we have been around for you guys since such a long time, and we are lacking that support. We are dying.
I mean, we do get it at times, but it's not enough to push us,
Yep.
you know? So yeah.
We are dying. We are getting old. We are dying. Go on.
So please support
Yep,
us.
please support. And yep, that's it for this case. Do let us know if you guys have any thoughts on this in the comment section as well. And that's it for today's podcast, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this talk show.
Talk show.
I hope you guys enjoyed this talk show, and I will see you guys in the next one. Until then, stay safe. Love you all. Stay awesome, guys.
Stay awesome.
Love you and good night. Thank you and good night. I still fuck it up.
Love you too, whatever.
Yep.
If you can stay in the community, receive your treatment in the community, with your family around you, your usual friends, then this all adds to the speed of recovery from the illness.